This episode of Super Pulp Science has been brought to you by Infinite Universe, where you can see it. You can see a preview for it at radcallcomics.wordpress.com and buy it for the first time at FanQuest 2018.
But like not maybe this time. We're pretty sure
Yeah,
it's
not
actually
even
gonna happen.
hopefully. We're in a pretty sure moment now. Yeah.
Attention, citizens. It's time for Super Pulp Science.
Welcome back to Super Pulp Science, where we talk about how genre gets made. I'm your host, Steven Kaul, with my long-suffering co-host, Lyndon Radchenka.
Hi, guys.
We're here with two prolific Winnipeg comic artists and artists the like. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm GMB Chomichuk. It's good to be here.
And I'm Justin Currie. Thanks for having me, guys.
We wandered in off the street. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for coming down to the studio so early. We're not normally here this early, but we spend some time here, so we would have crossed paths eventually.
Well, it feels good to be in the mirror universe, where evil runs the studio. It's back in our own universe. We have our own studio and our own podcast. So thanks for
Interesting.
letting us through the mirror darkly.
Weird how these things work out.
Yeah, strange but true. Oh, you have a Dan as well, I see.
No, here his name is Nad.
All right, so you guys, mirror universing, you have a new book, right?
We've got I wouldn't call it a book yet. It's getting there, though.
Soon to be published new book.
Dun, dun, dun. And you accosted me in the street recently. What
Correct.
was happening? Tell our dear listeners what had
we
gone
were
on.
making plans to officially pull the trigger and print the book.
Yeah, you managed to catch us while we were in discussions with a printer, which is something that people use when they want to self-publish a book without a publisher.
Setting the fabled print deadline as
Super important.
yeah, and scared the bejesus out of me. But at the same time, gave me a bit of a softer landing. Gave me about an extra week and a half where I'll be able to really finish the book, or hammer out the final details, I guess.
Yeah, when we'd first approached them, they'd quoted us a specific day in the middle of May, and when we went and had our meeting, we kind of expressed some concerns about the tightness of how close we would be cutting that deadline, and he looked.
I bet they have that conversation often.
Yeah, I'm sure they've worked this in somewhere.
I believe they do. Because every time we've had to extend a deadline, they're not super surprised by it.
Yeah, so...
Are you suggesting that you've had to move your deadlines more than once, Justin?
Not like last minute, but a month ahead of time, I'm like, maybe a couple days after.
Glass shattered.
So some calendar consulting.
I
and
think
the next...
a month notice is a pretty respectable amount of notice.
That's usually what happens.
I think when people are talking about panicking and changing the deadline, it's usually the day before. That's bad.
No.
Yeah,
That's
like
bad
when
news.
we spoke to him on the phone a while back, and that was one of my questions was like, what happens if we set a print deadline and it just through catastrophic circumstances we can't make it? Like, are you going to charge us? Do you have a window when you need to know? And he's like, just tell us and just be respectful and tell us with a decent amount of time when you think you're not going to make it, and we'll figure it out. So I half expected it to be like, no, you're locked in. And
if you
gotta
don't, we're
pay.
keeping your money.
Yeah, we'll set a date later where you can pay again.
Yeah.
Are you guys willing to talk numbers with us a little bit?
Yeah, we can talk
Sure.
about
Numbers?
Yeah.
So a lot of people do print-on-demand stuff when they're printing their indie books. So they print 100 or 200 at a time and call it even. What are you guys doing?
$750.
You're printing 750 copies.
It's a good, respectable number.
Yeah, it's a good first time. And how many pages?
64.
64
pages.
We need to sell about a third of our books to recoup the printing costs.
Right.
Then the rest can be fuel for heating the home or
More books.
More books. For a bigger run, too. That second run.
Yep.
Absolutely,
Which is,
yeah.
considerably cheaper.
Yeah.
Because there is a print setup fee that printers have, and
We
when you bring
didn't
the
know
book
existed,
back,
and-
they will not have that setup to do anymore, and they will not charge you that money.
All right. So different than if you had gone the traditional publishing route and had pre-orders through Diamond Books or Diamond Comics, right? You would know what to print and what numbers to match. But you guys, how did you come upon this 750 number?
We originally were going to do 500 and realized that it was quite a bit cheaper to go with the 750 route and decided 750 because we figured 500 was a nice round number. Like, if it sells really well, it'll last us a couple shows. If it doesn't sell well at all, it'll last us a little while longer. And we're not breaking the bank by doing 1,000, 2,000 copies. And basically it's, I don't know, softer landing in case it doesn't sell, and then you can go from there.
When you're saying 750 is cheaper, you mean cost per unit?
Yeah, so we approached the printer and we quoted them 4 prices, 500, 750, 1,000, and 1,250, and they gave us cost per unit books back for it, and we'd initially hoped for 500, and the books came out to being $8 to print a book. When we moved down to 750, they became just under $6 to print a book. And then I think by the time we were going to 1,000 and 1,250, the returns were getting smaller. So, and obviously the cost was getting larger.
Did you find yourself slipping into that trap of, if we printed 2,000,
no.
it'd be like
Which,
$3
I don't know
a
if you guys realize how responsible you're being with this, because most times when we have this conversation, somebody planned on printing 500 and ends up printing 3,000 because the price per unit got so great at 3,000.
And we've had this private consultation with dozens and dozens of people, and
So we looked at that, but I think our first concern was, are we going to sell 3,000 copies of our book?
Well, and you got to,
and also then it just gets more expensive still. You're still shelling out, because the ordering more books is not reducing your total cost. The total cost is still going up.
But that price per unit gets
So
back.
we would have ended up spending.
And I think and I'm no business person, but like when someone thinks like that, they're probably thinking about profit in the wrong way, because it's like, well, if I spend less on it, I'm going to make more in the long run. But it's a matter of a couple dollars, and if you're going to sell the book for the same price, regardless of how many you print, it's still going to work out for you in the end to do a smaller run at first. And
especially if you're just trying to test the market.
Yeah,
exactly.
You don't exactly know what you have on your hands yet.
Right.
And like you guys said, even if you only sell third and then you're in the clear, anything after that,
bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should also sort of build into your costs at least somewhere between 25 and 50 copies of that 750 run as ones that you're going to give to stores, you're going to give to reviewers, you're going to give to people who have never heard of you, right? Like if you're going to build up a relationship one-on-one with some shops as you're at all these shows, the only way you're going to do that if they've never heard of you is give them a book.
Also, part of the process that I've learned recently is you have to allocate 2 copies for legal deposit.
Yes.
Which is something that we haven't talked about on our show before.
And you mentioned that. I don't really know what that is.
Yes, so maybe our guests can describe what legal deposit is a little bit clearer. As far as I understand,
do you have legal deposit where you're from?
We have legal deposit in our alternate universe. Yes, we do.
And how would you describe what legal deposit is?
You're giving 2 copies to the government to say this book exists and it's a real thing.
And why 2?
I'm pretty sure because whoever's at the top of the pyramid takes one and puts it in their private library, and the other one goes into storage in a giant warehouse, not unlike the warehouse from Indiana Jones.
Oh, top man.
According to the email that I got this morning from people talking about legal deposit, 1 copy goes into the records, and another one they keep on file for consultation.
Clearly things work differently in your universe.
Okay.
That belongs in a museum. So do you.
Dear listeners, one of the reasons why I thought it would be a good idea to reverse mirror universe this episode is because the impossible has happened. People who started out just with an idea now, right, are publishing their own books.
That's us.
That's
I think
you
that's us.
guys. Yeah. And lots of people, like hundreds of people a month, come to us in our lives and say, I have an idea for a book, right? And it's only in a very small number of universes do those ideas become books. So I think you should be proud of yourself, no matter how it turns out, no matter how many of those stay in your garage forever, right?
I'm going to have to get a garage.
That's something I think about often. Like in high school and university, there's always and like a lot of people I know who said this have published books, but like there's a lot of people who go, I'm going to work on my graphic novel. And then they get into something else and they don't end up doing it, and that's fine. I was always someone who avoided saying that. I always wanted to do it, but I was just like, I don't think I'd have time for that, or that's not going to make me money right away. So I'm just very happy and surprised that we actually decided to do this and we're actually finishing it. Not that I'm worried I'd never finish something, but like I never saw myself doing this.
But also,
In
wow,
practical sense.
how much extra stuff have we had to learn how to do to make this book? It's not write a script and make some art pages. There is so much more that goes into it.
Well, wait till you read the book. Every page I've learned a new hotkey or a new thing in Photoshop. And it's like, well, that looks way better now. Or figured out how to work my brush weights better and stuff. But yeah.
Just like from things like lettering, things like production, getting your SKU numbers, doing your production work, talking to your printers. There's building a website. There's so much else that you have to do if you want to make a book and get it out into the world.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel better? Right. So what is it that you always say to people when they say to you, Justin, hey, I have an idea for a book?
I usually ask what they've finished so far.
Right. And so you guys have that answer now.
Yeah.
And actually,
Right.
we keep coming back to that. We keep saying, no, we have to finish this because no one's going to take us seriously if we don't finish it.
That's
kinda
100%
true, yeah,
100% true. You're
'Cause
only as
every-
good as your last work.
Well, that was something that kept freaking me out as the deadline gets closer and closer. Whenever you like read an interview with like a writer or an artist or something like that, or a publisher, one of the first things they say is, well, can you hit a deadline, or hitting the deadline is better. Like I watch this interview with Todd McFarlane on YouTube all the time from Complex News called Blueprint, and that's something he says is like, you could be terrible, you could be mediocre, but if you hit that deadline, they're probably going to hire you before the guy who's amazing with one page. So
Deadlines matter.
yeah.
Now, you also had a good, I think they had a good point that they made earlier, that even if it makes you no money at the beginning, and I think what's true that people have to accept of their first book is it's very likely not to make you very much money, but it will take you to the next thing. It's the thing that gets you to the
It's
next
still
place.
a finished book.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a finished like poster or a finished postcard. It's a book. It's 64 pages that we put our blood and sweat into, and whether people like it or not, whether it reads well or not, it's still finished.
It's
and
a
still good.
passport,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel, into a number of different conversations that you wouldn't have without it.
Yeah. No,
Right.
work is going to come from having something done.
Now, you've already gotten work out of starting this book, didn't you?
I found a little bit of side work.
Yeah.
Not making my own work, but
Right.
in helping other people bring their work to life. Yeah.
Because you've been lettering this Infinite Universe.
I learned to letter this infinite universe, and Steve unfortunately got to see what it looked like before I learned to letter. And yeah, he's laughing.
No, well, like I went into what I love is we went into this with him being the writer and also a full-time law student, and me being the artist. And I just originally thought that meant I'm gonna pencil it, ink it, color it, letter it, and like compile it into like one file. And then he just like learned all this stuff, and then all of a sudden he's a letterer. Just like
Idle hands.
yeah.
Devil's
Because he'd be like, I don't know if I can finish this book and do all of that at the same time. He's like, I'll try and learn it, and he did.
And so now I've had a couple projects. One I just finished up this past week, where people have decided that the lettering looks well enough that they're willing to give me money for it, which I'm going to turn around and use to print our book.
Nice.
So is this a thing you could see doing for lots of other people?
Lettering?
Yeah.
Whoever wants it done.
Yeah. All right. What have you learned? What have you guys learned about working together that you didn't know at the start?
That we work really well together.
That's good.
Like you read some horror stories on the internet about collaborative couples who do not get along well, or do not take criticism well, or do take direction and can't bounce things back and forth. And luckily we're not those people. Kind of going in, I had read a lot of interviews from professional comic writers, and kind of one of the big takeaways I got was keep your artist happy.
Are you happy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Justin, are you happy?
I'm okay.
Suffering.
I've
Long
settled.
suffering.
I don't know, like
He's accepted it.
See, we're like the old married couple of comics creators right here, giving the young couple on their honeymoon a little bit of advice, right? You got to
gonna
spice
suck.
things up once in a while, or it gets stale.
But I mean, like, it's there are days where I'll be like, hey, Steve, look at this thing that I spent a couple hours doing. He'll go.
Then 5 days later, I'll be like,
yeah, it won't even be direct. It'll be a couple days later, and you'll. I don't think that's really us, man. I think we need to go back to the drawing board on this.
I give him very soft landings, though. It's like,
Yep.
looks great, but it's maybe not fitting with the aesthetic of the
Yep.
book.
We
But
had those conversations this
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, but not that it's not workable.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think one thing. It's obvious, I think, but maybe some people don't actually have it, is a real mutual respect between the two and a respect for each other's opinion. Because, like, you have to be able to call each other on stuff, and you have to be able to, like, take that criticism. Like, even if it's in an area where you happen to be the expert and the other person doesn't actually, maybe doesn't have, like, the years of skill in that area, but if they see something, and I think that means more is if someone who's maybe not as experienced in an area sees something and goes, that doesn't look right.
Absolutely.
Or something like that, then you can go, okay, well, that means to everybody that's going to read wrong. And you just have to take that as like, okay, that's something I have to correct, not that's something somebody's shoving in my face.
And we've had moments like that between us, like going both ways. So like I have a degree in English, and I've put in stuff in the script, and you'll come back and you go, I don't know if that language quite works here. Can you rework this? And I'll take it back and I'll bounce back to you, and you'll say, yeah, no, that works a lot better. But then at the same time, you've sent me art, and I've gone, I think that this panel looks a little odd. That face looks not right. And you'll go, oh yeah, I think you're right. There's totally something wrong here.
Yeah.
And so it goes both ways, which is something that's been very conducive to a working relationship, I like to think.
Do you think that part of that scrutiny that you have on each other's work is simply related to that this is the only major project you have happening?
Probably.
I think we're both
because it's the only thing we're really thinking about.
Right.
Could
you handle doing all of this stuff and 2 more books at the same time?
I would love to do this for another 2 books.
2 more books after or at the same time?
At the same time.
Oh, at the same time.
I mean, I'll give it a go.
Yeah. You only have so many hours in the day, I guess.
Yeah. But I could figure it out. Yeah,
figure it out.
Oh yeah.
What are you getting a page a day right now?
When I'm in momentum, absolutely I am. I tend to because I work on the weekends, it tends to like cut the momentum. So like I'm a slow start in the week, but then page a day, page and a half when I'm really cruising. So, and that's like full color pages done. So.
I'll have Friday evenings where Steve will ship me for like 3 or 4 pages and be like, here, go letter this, which kills anything else that I'm doing. So
right.
I'm currently in exam season for school, and if I've had to say to Steve can't send me anything this week. I don't want to see it, because if I get it, it's gonna pull me away from whatever I'm supposed to be doing at the time.
I'm like, thank God.
I wonder if there's a deep reflection you should be doing on what you want to do with your future. If
I try
the
to
moment
avoid that
Steve
conversation.
sends you pages, it's all you want to do.
I've had that conversation with a few different people, and I just try not to think about it right now.
Maybe you could be the Grisham of graphic novels, though, right?
See, Charles Sewell, he writes Daredevil and he writes Darth Vader. He's a huge Marvel writer. I think he's got numerous books going at all the time. Also a practicing lawyer in New York.
Dun, dun, dun. Practicing. He hasn't got it right yet.
Practicing.
Yeah.
But it's the did you say, sorry, you worked for Daredevil?
He works for Marvel. He writes Daredevil.
Wow. So the Daredevil lawyer.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, lawyer writing a lawyer.
He's a lawyer writing a lawyer.
That was interesting.
So you write what you know, right?
Yeah.
Apparently there was an arc that happened exclusively in the courtroom, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm going to read it.
Yeah, I heard about that. I
Yeah.
haven't read that one either.
What would you say is worse? Ignoring data in the interest of cutting costs, or neglecting to supply the court with records that might prove you purposely put people in danger, including this young man, Aaron James,
Your
who
Honor.
might never walk again?
Your Honor, we would like a recess.
No need, I'm done. I think he is too.
We were nerding out over Headlopper before you arrived, dear listeners. If you have not looked at Headlopper, it's one of those books that when you hear the title, Headlopper, you say to yourself, come on, really?
Sounds violent.
Yeah. Well, it is violent, but it's not violent. It's like cartoony violent. I don't even know how to describe it.
It's like Adventure
violent.
Time
What's
with
that?
Adventure
more
Time
blood and
meets
gore.
Mike Mignola by way of, I don't know, like Robert E. Howard with a little smidgen of like Maya Angelou on top of it.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I don't even
It's
know
like
what
crazy.
I don't even know what it is. Like when I first saw it, it's just like I think I was at Indigo or something, and I saw Volume 1 sitting there, and I flipped through it. And I'm like, I'm buying this. Like, it's so good.
And now you create cartoon violence.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason I bring it up is because people hear other people talk about making stuff,
Yeah.
right? They're like, oh, you guys make books. That must be so great, without remembering that we're also inspired by the things that other people make and humbled. Like, I'm completely humbled by the work inside of this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Andrew's work in here is just incredible. What other work humbles you guys?
Anything by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Oh, yeah?
He does Extremity, which is an image book. But I first saw him, he did a web comic where he was 2 pages a week, not full color, like blue in the background and stuff like that, called Space Mullet. And it's spacemullet.com.
Oh, I know Space Mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That is a great...
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? I actually don't...
Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah, that is a great book.
And
Another book that has a ridiculous name that's quite fantastic.
Yeah. And he just, I don't know, like I have certain people who just inspire the hell out of me. And can I say that?
Yeah.
and
It's your show.
And
We're just living in it.
just like looking at him, like you can tell he can like bang out a page in like 3 hours, or he can take an entire day to do it. And like it's just the way he works and his knowledge of perspective. He did this crazy mini book called I can't remember what it's called, but it was a book, a one shot about the A-wing pilot from the, I think, Return of the Jedi, the one that flies into the bridge of the Star Destroyer. Like,
Wait, he did like a little bootleg story?
Well, no,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was licensed or not, but yeah, but it was about that pilot's day, and he wrote it. It was like he woke up with his wife that day, and then it ended. Everybody, you know how it ends,
Right.
by reading it. I don't know. It's just him and then Ramon Perez.
Yeah.
Like Tale of Sand is just.
Yeah.
I mean, I also like to joke that you are emulating Mitch Garrett's
Oh,
in
100%,
our book with all of our
100%.
9-panel pages.
Yeah. And yeah, Mitch Garrett is amazing too. But yeah, like I have multiple books that sit stacked beside my computer, and it's like Paper Girls Volume 1, Tale of Sand, Extremity, Headlopper, and then when it's like, oh, how do I do this position? I don't tend to take photos of myself. I like flip through these until I find someone who's done a similar position, and I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. And then I take a photo of myself, and then I do it. Yeah.
So you use their work as permission?
As permission?
Yeah, like you look through it and say, oh, well, someone else did it.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to do it.
Oh,
Someone
totally.
can do it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you think that there'll be a point, or at what point will you be able to push that stack over and say, I don't need
I don't know if you
anybody
should
else?
ever push that stack. The stack should just grow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever push it over, but like I don't feel corralled by it or anything like that. It's just it's more inspiration than anything. Like it gets me excited when I like look at something and then I look back at my own work, and it's like knowing I'm on the right track really helps. But like it might be used less as time goes on, as my style incrementally solidifies, and then I know, when I think of a position or a facial expression, like I know how to do it. I don't have to worry about like well, this guy does it really well. How does he do it? Or
Right.
How does she do it? So there'll probably come a point where I open them less for reference and I open them more for just for inspiration.
I have a question. I have my first question. So Steven and I are making our first book, and so every problem we run into is the first time we were experiencing this problem, and obviously we would approach these so that we don't have to face the same problems again. As two people who have made numerous books, what problems do you tend to find you still haven't found the answer for, or that keep cropping up in different ways?
Good question. Okay, you go first, Justin.
I always hit a point in the graphic novel where, like, as much as I've storyboarded or planned it out, once you actually start finishing pages, the story changes, right?
Okay.
It evolves. It becomes something different. I create and draw like very fluidly. Like I do a rough storyboard, but I don't I don't really fine tune it as much as other people. I just get into the final artwork and start pumping out the pages. And there's always comes a part around like 60% through the project where I'm not exactly sure what there's a chunk missing, and I'm not exactly sure what that chunk is, and it'll haunt me for a couple days or a week or two, and I'll work on pages before it and after it, and I've done this enough times to know that eventually my brain will finally fire up and figure that part out. But almost every book I've done, there's been a couple mystery pages that don't get figured out until later down the line.
And I think that's really funny because that just happened to you this week, Steven, where you said, yeah, I have these panels and they're not working out in my head how I want them to work out. And you sat and you let it stew for a little bit.
Yeah, I took
and then it clicked.
Yeah, it was a 6-panel page that just, I knew what he was getting across. I could read it, and I was like, I know exactly what's going on. But like, the scale of these beats just didn't work with 6 panels, and I didn't know how to do it. And now it's a 2-panel page.
Yeah.
So
that's usually what happens. It's this complicated 4-page sequence. Yeah.
Works with
suddenly, oh my God,
more.
I can do this in a double-page spread with one image instead of 12 panels.
Like half the beats happen all at once in one panel, half the beats happen in the other, because it's a chaotic point in the story, and I'm like, okay, well, I can just make 2 chaotic panels, and
Probably that way too.
You know, it's funny because I was just working on some baby metal pages, and one of the I can't talk plot. Okay. But I can talk tone.
Only the Fox God knows.
Only the Fox God knows the plot. But the idea was that there was this really tender moment between 2 characters. And the way it was being laid out in the script was sort of 8 panels, little beats that showed us these kind of sort of little indications. And the final moment on the page was supposed to be that they, they're friends and they're really leaning on each other and they trust each other. And I was working it, and same thing, that there was almost too much information. Then I realized that it's the tone, that tone of friendship at the end is all that we're really after. And so I did it as a single splash page. There hadn't been one for a whole bunch in the book up until that, so it was time for one. And I tried to make the mood and the setting and the lighting warm and inviting and friendly in a way that all those other story beats would have led to. I just scrapped those as character moments and made them part of the environment, and that totally changed the scene. And I was very pleased that everyone up the chain agreed with that too.
Yeah.
So that's an answer that steals Justin's answer.
Yeah, no, that's just, I was expanding on Justin's answer. What I find the hardest part, the problem that I face over and over in books is that I'll come up with imagery and plot early.
Yep.
And that gets me really excited to figure out what the story is. And then, so I have to sort of explain it in a slightly more esoteric way about what I think creativity is for. And I think that we have these moments of inspiration. And those moments of inspiration can lead us to make something, be it a book or a poem or a song or whatever. But the reason those inspirations happen is as kind of like a lighthouse light on the shore to warn you about something that your subconscious is processing. Creativity is kind of a waking dream. Yeah. And so I reach a point where I have to ask myself, if this book is really about this, what are the actual themes? What are the metaphors? What are the narratives that are about me in this book? And then agree or disagree that I'm okay to put those in the real world. So I have a few projects where, some real stuff is being processed and just put on display, and other projects where they're still in the drawer because I'm definitely not ready for what that book is really about to be on display. Oh, right? And so often I stop work on projects that I'm just not, I don't have the emotional fortitude or the maybe the strength of ego to say, okay, this is a problem with me that I'm going to put on display. This the thing the character is going to go through and face and deal with is something that I clearly struggle with. Yeah. And am I willing to have, the next 250 hours of creative time?
So so the problem you face is whether to let go of that project for the moment.
Yeah, for the
based
moment, but
on
sometimes
those criteria.
Sometimes completely. Like, what is it really about? I mean, we can entertain people all day long, but we have to do the labor.
Yeah.
Right? A book can be entertaining, and some people that they have no trouble doing that. But because creative pursuits are so personal, that I feel like there's some sort of meditative element to it, and that even though a book might just be about, time travel murder mystery, it can be about something a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I've had that as an amateur writer also, where you're working on a project that is intensely personal in certain respects, and my issues I found as a writer, I don't want things to be super explicit. I don't need someone to read something that I've written and go, I can see you in this.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I want more subtlety to it. I don't want this to be some very clear conflict that I've been having in my life that I found a way to put it out there. There has to be a way to mask it somehow.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I mean, and that's genres, genres for. Yeah. Genre is really talking about your real life, right? In a way that's just sort of fun and silly, like a waking dream.
With spaceships and
monsters or sword fights or whatever. But
we have all of those things.
Yeah.
The skies above and the seas below, infested by swarms of nightmare creatures, crueler, deadlier than the armored giants of prehistoric eras. Here is a wild, headlong flight into terror as the desert erupts with the grim battle for survival.
Talk briefly about the duality between good and evil in your book, because you guys sent me...
Talk briefly.
Yeah, talk briefly.
Talk briefly.
Solve this problem. Well, here's why I bring it up. I had seen the first 15 or so pages.
Yep.
And then you sent me the next 15 or so pages. And so for the first 15 pages, I felt some real sort of pathos among the characters. And I was like, oh, these explorers, and oh, what a team, and oh, they're real humans on this adventure. And then they're suddenly like murdering an alien race in cold blood out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere. It's motivated, but it's... Talk to me about that.
So I recently revisited The Watchmen.
Right.
Which does a very good job of leaving you in a gray area between good and bad, and the right kinds of good and bad. As you've now read roughly the first half, actually, of our book. If you've read 15 and then 15, and we're 64 minus... Yeah, so roughly the first half of the book, and we'll continue to expand on those points. But the idea behind a lot of it is that our heroes spend a lot of time questioning questioning the principle of humanity. So not like humans as a race, but the idea of being humane.
Right.
And whether or not that should extend to other life forms in the universe, or whether it's owed only towards humans as a race.
Inalienable human rights.
And then it like, I also like to think of it like not just about humanity, but like I like we address good and evil in a way that it's such a subjective perspective based thing.
Right.
So while there is something that happens in the book where they are slaughtering one group of creatures and not another singular creature, while there is motivation for one, it's like there could have been another way to go about it. But I think the point is to, let's see if I can get this out. The point is to show off that these, while they may be trying to save Earth, doesn't necessarily mean everybody's a good guy, everybody's a bad guy, everybody's just kind of out for themselves. And so they're just trying to get whatever they're trying to get done. I guess that's rambling, but if you know what I mean.
They're not. We are not gods. We don't get to choose. We're not the judge, the jury, and the executioner. We don't get to choose who lives and dies.
Unless you're the one with the ray gun in your book, apparently.
Right, but
cool
this
ray gun though.
This is a massive swarm of aliens, and I'm about to draw another swarm coming in. Just when they think they've got it, there's going to be more coming in, and
that's not written in the book. He's doing that.
That's just that's just to illustrate, because the panel I just drew, when I finished it, it's like 2:00 in the morning last night. I finished it, and I look at it, I'm like, that's awesome. And then I'm like, why would they need to do anything else after this panel? Because it's just explosions and like just total one-sidedness in the battle. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to bring it back. And so it's just these creatures, this swarm is unrelentingly. Is that a word? Unrelentingly?
Unrelenting is a word.
Unrelenting and just attacking them without any clear motivation. So they're just trying to survive
And escape.
Yeah,
And
without actually questioning the motive of the creatures. So, yeah.
And then they go back.
Dun, dun, dun.
You didn't get that page yet, but it's coming.
No, I didn't get that page yet. They're holding out on me, Justin. All right. So what do you have to say about these monsters? These guys.
What do you think of Good and Evil?
I always tend to gravitate towards stories where it's blurred, right?
Yeah.
I think we all kind of grew up and it was like Care Bears versus No Heart. Like it was very clearly defined. Yeah. Good guys, bad guys. Yeah, Shrieky and Beastly. Yeah. We actually have a frame. I said we have a Ghost or Care Bears animation frame.
Yeah, we
in
have
the
an original
studio.
cell from the
I
Care
think it
Bears
fell
in the
down.
studio.
But we have a Shrieky and Beastly animation cell that I picked up at WonderCon last year.
In fact, we also have He-Man and Ghostbusters up on the wall.
Ghostbusters, and Brave Little Toaster.
That's right. All with clear good and evil dualities as part of our past. So maybe we just like living in the gray area because we're sick of having everything so defined.
Do you think that was because, as toy manufacturers, you needed a good set and a bad
for sure
set?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, you needed the Autobots and the Decepticons. You couldn't just get one.
Okay, but why it sells is because that's how kids play too.
Yeah,
but
good
also,
guys and bad guys.
Good and bad goes all the way back like biblical times. This is an enduring
Us versus
thing.
them is what it is. Not really good or bad.
Yeah,
us versus them.
And that would be a better way to describe our book is us versus them. It's
eat or be eaten.
Yeah, we don't touch on it at this line as much in the book, but it is there. Because it's a group of enhanced humans looking for a place for humans to go because Earth is passing on. But there is a question of they're out, they're gone. If they rejoin humanity, they're going to be different than everybody else.
Yeah.
Should they even go back? It's
they
the
can never go back to their
Schrodinger's
lives.
cat type thing where it's like they've been out for so long that for all they know, they go back, there's nothing left.
Or if they go back, they realize they were villains the whole time.
And they're super enhanced humans. No matter what, they are not like the humans on Earth anymore. They are not the same species.
They are Titans.
I was going to say, can we talk about the Titan?
Okay, yeah.
It's your show.
Okay.
So Steve, a couple weeks ago, he sent me a YouTube link, and he said, watch this trailer. And that's all it said.
Yeah, because it's the plot of your book, basically, right?
Yeah,
roughly.
It's
I
the
watched it,
prequel.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the prequel.
So
to our book.
Steve went and watched the movie. It's out now on Netflix.
Oh, yeah,
now.
we
It's
saw
called
it.
The Titan.
Yeah.
You don't
Not a
need
good
to
movie.
watch the movie.
No, you can watch like the first 20 minutes and be okay.
Yeah.
It's when they keep their. We'll talk about that after.
But it was this idea that this trailer dropped, let's say 6 weeks ago. The movie came out 2 weeks ago, and Steve sent me this trailer, and I'm like, Netflix scooped us. Like, there goes our IP.
I sat down with my coffee, and I just went to YouTube, and it was a new trailer on YouTube, and I hit it. Within seconds, Tom Wilkinson is saying, "You will become enhanced humans." And I was just like, what the? And then like
To explore space. Yeah, to explore space.
I don't like this one bit. Not one bit.
So we all have ideas that are in that same space, right? Like, I think this is a common thing.
Well, it's an indication
make
that
a book-
humanity's thinking of the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, maybe. Or we're just fresh out of ideas. But it's the singer. We say this a lot on this show. It's the singer, not the song, right? Like, even if you took the same plot of the Titan, took the script, and you guys went away and did your version of that book, you could come back to the table, and Justin and I could hand in our version of that book.
Yeah.
We could title it something different, and it would be absolutely... Right.
I bet you money that if you look back into sci-fi from like the 40s, 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
there's also
Absolutely
a story that's
Yeah.
very similar. You know, like we're retelling.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is basically that.
What was that?
Right.
You watch Mystery Science Theater on Netflix?
Yeah.
What was the space movie on there that's like a blatant ripoff of Star Wars?
Oh, with the kid pilot? Was that?
No, it was like a man and a woman, and it was Christopher Plummer was in it. I can't remember the name, but it was
Star Crash, something like that.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
I don't know.
And then it was funny thing about that one. What I love was it was blatant ripoff of Star Wars. Totally failed. The guy who scored it, just as a side note, the guy who scored it took that score, put it in the movie Out of Africa, and won
With
the
the
Oscar.
same music.
Same thing. Yeah.
Didn't like there was an R2D2 like exact, just like
Something
painted
like
differently.
that.
Like it was a very clear like two robot like
yeah.
assistants and yeah.
So just
I
to
remember
tie this back,
Star Crash.
Wow, they really didn't try.
Right?
No,
They tried.
They just-
As I recall, the story of Star Crash is also they got a cease and desist from Lucas because they had laser swords in their movie
Yeah.
as well.
Something like that.
I remember
But
that.
there is a great sword fight with a stop motion robo like menace laser sword fight. It's totally worth it. You can just Google that part if you're listening, dear listeners, and you want to see a great laser sword fight with a stop motion sort of Harryhausen style monster.
Cool.
Star Crash.
But dear listeners, if you're listening, do not watch The Titan. We would like it to fade into oblivion now.
Why you don't
Yeah,
rip
Pete,
on
no.
other people? Don't come on.
I'm sure it's no.
I guess we can come on your show and tell you not to rip on other people's creative
I
stuff.
feel like they filmed that movie with a script half written and frantically tried
No,
to.
it looked really cool.
I don't want to rip on it, but like I'm not going to rip on it. I'm not going to be like, however, but like it's like it goes really well, and then it's like they got lost because they redefined the villain, like in consecutive, like 4 scenes. It's like he's the bad guy. Now he's not. She's the bad guy. Now she's not. They're the bad guy.
No, but hold
Now
on.
they're the hero.
Okay, so I'm going to come in
bringing it
defense of
back.
the Titan here. Well, I'll admit that it wasn't the movie
The Titan.
I hoped it would be.
It started out that way.
Yeah, but wait.
Yeah.
Have we don't often see a story where they redefine the villain.
Right.
And could it not be that somebody in a pitch meeting somewhere with lots of fire and passion said, let's have a story where the villain is redefined a number of times? And on paper, that sounds really great. Right? That's a story I want to hear. I want to see.
That's
It's
a
as
very
nuanced as
true
what you're talking
reflection of how the world usually works.
Right?
Who is the real villain here?
And so you can see that now, how it's, it's a singer, not the song, a different director.
Yeah. Okay. Different
Right?
director might have done it, or
Right? A little differently.
Yeah.
Like, imagine that movie directed by Terry Gilliam
or Wes Anderson.
or Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson. Did you
Right?
see the Honest trailer for Wes Anderson's movies?
No.
You know Honest trailers?
Yeah, yeah.
Watch the Wes Anderson one. They go through every movie and they line them up and like they have
Knock
all
them
the
all
same
down.
characters, all the same plot points, everything. It's so funny.
So my
Yeah.
question to you, Justin, is when we go back to our universe and we listen to their version of the podcast, will we have to realize that we don't make enough references to pop culture on our show?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think a lack of pop culture references also means that it's applicable anytime. So if you listen to this podcast in 10 or 15 years, who knows how accessible the Titan will be to watch.
It'll be a cult
Still.
classic.
It'll be a cult
Yeah.
classic
Yeah.
at the time.
That's
Everyone
right.
will love it.
Because everyone will be genetically modified by then. And they'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, what a quaint idea about how that really was.
I watched that on my
or we
inner
won't
eye.
be on our planet anymore.
The way that old science fiction movies all have smoking in them, right? Yeah.
Smoking looks so cool on film.
It does look cool.
Yeah.
Mad
It
Men.
also
Oh, man.
looks like cancer to me,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so are you going to bring us home, gentlemen?
Yeah, you want to come home?
You've been listening
No?
to Super Pulp Science, where we talk about where genre gets made.
You should try that again. He's going to edit around that.
No, I'll leave it in.
This has been Super Pulp Science, where we talk about how genre gets made. I am the long-suffering co-host, Lyndon Radchenka, with my main co-host, Steven Kaul. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen.
We have been your guests, Gregory Chomichuk.
Justin Currie.
We can't wait to visit your alternate podcast.
Thanks for joining the fight and making comics.